are working on the Payday wallet / purse. We're going to actually do both sizes at the same time. First thing we're going to do is start with our zipper preparation. For my small bag, I'm going to use Zippers by the Yard. And for one of the zippers, I'm going to use for the large bag, it's going to be that. And then the other smaller one, the front zipper, is going to be this really pretty red-orange color. So I'm going to, of course, switch out the zipper pulls and that kind of stuff and get it to my liking. But we're just prepping the zippers right now. I held off on cutting out my fussy cutting the front of the large bag just because I don't know why. So as I'm looking at this, I know that I want this guy, we named him Morty, to sit to the left of center. And this bag finishes at 10.5. So I am going to just make sure if it's finishing at 10.5, I am moving this 5.5 over a bit. Let's see, how big, how wide is he? How much of him do I want? I want to get that flower. I want to get, well, I'm not worried about the top and the bottom just yet, but I know that I want that flower in there. I don't mind if it gets cut off a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 would be over here somewhere. I'm cool with that. So he's about 6 inches wide from where I'm comfortable with cutting him off. We cut him off right there. So then we're just going to add 4 inches to the side right here, and we should have action. So I'm just putting my 4 right there, and then I know that the width right here, the 10, it should look cool. It's going to sit him off to the left. Because we're fussy cutting this, I spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to figure out where I should cut this, but it's right here on the front page. It says that when it's closed, it's 6 inches by 10.5 inches. So I know this guy's whole face here is a little bit, he's a little less. He's about 5.5 inches tall. So I don't mind if this part gets cut off, not a big deal. So I'm just going to give it about 1 inch. Here, I should undo this before I mess up the bag. I'm going to lay this guy out like that. And I'm going to give it about 1 inch. I don't think I want his jawline cut off. I don't mind if this gets cut off. Oh, good. It'll give me about that. Yeah. So I'm going to set about 1 inch right here. Maybe 1.5 inches. Maybe more. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. I'm just kind of feeling it. And then I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll give me about to right here. We're going to eat some of this. So maybe about 1/2 inch that way. Let's take it up. About 1/2 inch right there. Yeah, I don't think it matters that much. And then I'm going to give it a little cut. Perfect. Fussy cut. So now I'm grabbing all of my body fronts and lining pieces, and I'm going to fuse with medium heat. I'm probably going to use my heat press to fuse all these to the backs of the pieces, leaving about 1/4 inch around. So for this project, and this project too, I'm going to use a variegated. I'm going to use Dementor's Kiss by Wizardry. Again, it's Dementor's Kiss. I love their variegateds. I've been dying to use it. This is going to go perfectly with this project. So I have fused this to the back, and now I'm just going to fold it over till it hits the dimensions that it says. And then we're going to give it a lovely press, a nice hard press with the iron. And then we're going to top stitch right down here. Now this is pocket C. I'm assuming this right here is going to be covered by all the things. I think we're building on top of this. So again, I'm just going to fold it in half and then top stitch a 1/4 inch down from here. And then I'm going to top stitch a 1/4 inch down from here and then 1/8 down the sides and on the bottom, just to lock it all in. So these came out cool. Top stitched beautifully. No worries there. I don't know which side is front on that one. And then I just edge stitched around the sides. So now they're all nice and locked up. They feel sturdy too. Interfacing is amazing. I think that's the back. And then we did the same thing for pockets E. The E's are the little guys. So that's pocket C and E both done in the same way. So now I've got my strapping for the long ones for the large pocket. I guess I'll work with the large pocket first, or the small, it doesn't matter. First thing I'm going to do is grab this and go right sides together and sew down the side. I'm going to do that for the outer strap and the inner strap, all the same. Again, just go right sides together and just sew down one side. Don't do the ends, just the side. So now that we have all these little tubes, I'm going to grab my favorite little tool here. It's just a wood iron, and I am going to try to center this seam, center, and press it open. So I'm just going to give it a little tug here, and that feels about right. It feels like that's pretty much center for the most part. And then I'm going to give it a little press. I'm going to do that with all 4 of them. And now we have it open pretty much center, I think. So we have the fast turn tool. I have seen this a couple of times. I don't remember how to use it, but it's been working for me thus far. So if I'm using it wrong, y'all can let me know. I'm sure you will let me know in the comment section. But I'm just sticking this tube down in the tube. Then I am sticking this hooky thingy down. And when it comes out the other side, I'm going to just stick it through the fabric and give it a little twist. I'm twisting it to the right. And when it catches, and then when it pulls the little hoop all the way through, come on hoop, go all the way through. There we go. Once the hoop goes all the way through, I'm just pulling it through the tube. And to release it, I'm going to walk it the opposite direction. And that is how I got my tubes turned. Now you can certainly use a straw and a chopstick or sew some yarn and pull it through. Whatever you do, just turn this. And then I'm going to give this another press and make sure that this is center again. And then I'm going to stick these straps in there. The way I'm going to get the strap in there is I'm going to grab one of these. It's a bodkin, and I am just going to stick it in here, and I am going to shimmy it and pull it through. And then we're going to allow this to extend over the sides just a little bit, about a ½ inch on either side. So I'm just backing it in there a little bit. And then we'll release it. and it's in there. And now it's stabilized. And then we'll sew an 1/8 of an inch all the way around the entire thing, making sure that there's about about 1/2 of an inch on either side. Now that we've got our straps and whatnot done, we need to mark them from the edge, from the top to the bottom. And I'm going to use my favorite marking tool wherever it is. And this is just on the outer strap. Do not mark the inner strap. Just set those to the side. We're just marking the outer strap. Oh, I wonder if this is going to get cut off. It looks like it is. Oh, that's too bad. It was such a good... I should have fussy cut this. Oh, well. I'm assuming this is where the D-ring is going to go, and it's going to get folded. Aw, it's too bad. It was such a good fussy cut moment there. I was trying not to use a friction pen because it will bleach your fabric a lot of the time, but I'm going to just take the hit here. A lot of my projects do a mix of friction and chalk pen. A lot. Okay, these are all now prepped, and I'm going to put this back on them and set them to the side. This is the large, this is the small. So with these straps, we're working on our strapping. We only need one piece here. And it's pretty much the same for both sizes. We are going to sew these together end to end. And then we will sew them right sides together and then turn it like we did before and put this strapping inside it. Just wanted to point out that I am sewing a 1/2 of an inch, and I just sewed this down so that when I turn it, these don't get all crazy on me. So I just sewed it down right here on the sides. Now I'm going to go right sides together and run this whole seam down this, and then turn it just like we did the other one. So we've marked some lines on these straps, and I'm going to use this little kit here. I bet you it came from Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't want to use the rainbow on the Tim Holtz bag, but I couldn't find a black wide mouth slider. So you get what you get, and you do not throw a fit. I've got the curved side up and the seamed side down. I'm going to go up and back down over the center part right here. And then I'm going to find this, and I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to sew an X in this box. I'm just going to stitch right over where I've already stitched, and then come through and do an X for added security. Now we have our wide mouth slider here, and we've sewn our X. We've done it on both of them. They're all nice and cute and whatnot. Great. Now I'm going to take this with the seam side up. I'm going to find the other end. Again, my seam is right here. I'm going to grab a swivel hook. I'm going to slide it through here. This is with the seamed side up. We're going to go up through B as in boy, the whole B. Okay, then we're going to go down through the A side. Okay. Now we're going to grab another swivel hook and put this. Now we're going to grab another swivel hook and slide it on there. And we are going to attach it to that measurement right there, and then sew our next X. And then our belt will be complete. Okay? So just go up and back through there, and then we'll sew this with a little X, and then we'll be done with this belt here. Our next step is the same for the large one and the small one. It's the same markings. But you have some markings on the front that you're supposed to draw in and some markings on the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold this on this line, and then I'm going to press it nice and hard on that line right there. And then I'm going to fold this one and press it. Where'd it go? This one right here, and press it hard also. So I'm making sure to fold it right on that line, and then we'll just give it a press like I said. We want this nice and cooked in. If you have made the So Simple wallet, which I have just done, I think this is going to be like the same way. I think it's the same. Ooh, I can smell that cooking. Ooh. And then I'm going to fold this one and press it super hard. Alright, and ideally you want to let that cool so that it keeps that nice hard crease in there. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing back here. I'm going to find that line, and this is the top of this piece. You want to make sure you're doing all your markings on the top side. Now we finish pressing these. So with this flap right here, the top flap facing down, I am just going to fold this up like this, and I'm going to do a line of top stitching on that and a line of top stitching on this. So this is what it looks like from the side. Top stitch, and then we'll be back. All right, now we have finished sewing, top stitching that. Now with the top stitching going down towards the ground and this raw edge here up, I am going to fold this right sides together. You see that? So this is what it looks like on the side. I'm going to fold this right sides together, and I'm going to make sure that it's matching right there. Can you see that? It's matching. Now when I flip it over, there should be a little bit of an overhang, and I see it. Can you guys see it? There's a little overhang right there. That's okay. That's what we want. We are going to stitch on both sides, back stitching at the top and back stitching at the top 1/4 inch. Now that we have this pocket, we're going to reach in right sides and we're going to flip this puppy inside out. There you go. Go on and flip it and push out these little corners here. And you want to take time to actually push those out pretty good. because you will not be getting back in there to do it. So I'm just going to take my time and push these corners out. This is just like when you make the Sew Simple wallet. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what this is technically. And so after you do that, you've got these raw edges right here, right? That looks pretty good. I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to turn this the inside out. Come on there. And then we're going to push these out. And there we have it, a beautiful little kind of sort of, actually that's not, the other wallet has a flap. Okay, but if you've done the Sew Simple wallet, you will definitely be familiar with this, how to do it. I'm going to do the same thing with the large one. Remember, the large one is pretty much the same, it's just wider. There we have our pockets. I feel like I'm going to need to top stitch that down in the back. So when you're done, it should look like this. And after you've sewn and you've back stitched, you're going to take off some of this bulk by trimming this away. Just like that and just like this. And then you're going to reach down in between this first fold right here with these raw edges, and you're going to turn it inside out. Don't be scared, just go on and turn it like that, and then take your point turner and push out, or your chopstick, don't use your scissors, you might poke a hole, and push that out, and make sure you do it good because you might not get a chance to go back in there and do that. And then you're going to go in again with this right here. You're going to find the non-raw edge, and then you're going to turn it one more time. And then we are going to use our point turner one more time and smooth this out, so that we get a nice, pretty fold. Now, I forgot to do it on this other one, and it still turned out okay, so don't freak out. I mean, you can go back and turn it back, but I think it'll be fine. And that looks beautiful. So I wasn't planning on giving this a zhuzh. I was just trying to put two together at one time. However, I don't think I have enough magnets to do two. I think I only have, I don't know if I have another set of two. I know I have a set of one, but I don't know if they're two. So I just bought that Cam Snaps machine. I don't know if this is going to come out before or after the Sew wallet, the Sew Simple wallet. And I bought magnetic stamps and stuff, so I might as well just figure that out. I just have to figure out, do I want to do the magnets on the large one or the small one? I don't know, but we're going to zhuzh. Also, something else that I didn't realize is that the interfacing doesn't go on the main top fabric pocket A. It goes on the lining, which I had to redo, which is okay because I didn't like the fabric that I had chosen in the first place. So I'm getting ready to work on the magnet side. So I was confused. There are two sets in here. It's not just two magnets in here. There are two sets, which are 4 pieces. So you have what you need to make your project. So technically I have enough to do both, but I already said I was going to zhuzh it, so we're going to zhuzh it and go for it. I think I'm going to use the actual magnets on the big one. I'm going to use the Cam Snaps magnets on the big one. I'm going to work this one regularly. So I'm going to grab the lining fabric. Where'd the other one go? And I'm going to do the markings to show me where these magnet placements need to be. I've done all my markings for this guy. And again, we're working on the lining side. These magnets are, you got to want it to pull them apart. You've got to really want it. And they fit right in there. And they want me to stitch it down 1/8 with its little jacket on. Leave the jacket on and stitch it down. The flat side is facing up. The little plus signs are on this side. This is the positive side. So again, we are going to stitch this down all the way around. And then we're going to put one of these little covers on it with the bumpy side, the fusible side facing down too. And then we can stick a fork in it. So make sure you mark the top though, because the measurements are a little different from the bottom to the top. Okay? I did not use my zipper foot. I just used my regular foot, and I went around it. It tried to stick to the machine just a little bit. It's not super pretty or anything like that. Thank God this is on the lining, but that worked out okay, right? And now I'm supposed to put this over and easy peasy. I was going to try to put together this whole bag and then come back for the other side, but I'm going to just work the other side the way I think I should and just hope that it all works out. So for this side, I'm going to grab, no, actually I'm going to finish up this section. The next part is to put these together and then add the zipper. I'm just going to do a little top stitch right here, 1/8 from the edge. So the lining is facing up with the magnets. I'm just going to do a little stitch, making sure that everything is lined up straight across the top. Now we're going to take this zipper, the zipper's on the left, and we're going to put this on here. I like to make sure that the zipper comes out a little bit further, like 1/8 of an inch past the fabric. Like, don't necessarily line it right up. Give it a little something. And I'm going to throw some clips in there. And then we'll sew this down onto this. What is that? Oh, there we go. We'll sew it down. Now this is how this looks. So I sewed the zipper right sides together. Then I pushed it back so it was flat and did another line of stitching right here. Easy peasy, like many of the other bags that we've done before. Now the sides and the bottom are actually still open. So we need to close those up. So I am going to move the zipper to the inside here, and I'm going to hold this together and just stitch back and forth a few times right here at the edge and then cut away the excess. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now we will cut away and make this even. Make this pocket nice and even. Leaving that stop intact, hopefully. Now we need to grab our main fabric extension, and I need to sew it to the left-hand side of this project right here. Now the extension has been sewn on, and she says to press it toward this side. Press it this way. But be careful because my zipper is not metal, so it will melt. But there we go, pocket A. Now let's see what happens when I try to add these magnets to this other side here. Let's see if I can do it. So for the magnets that I'm going to install, I'm going to do the exact same thing, but instead of using the lining fabric, which is right here, this is the large one, I'm going to mark the pocket A, which is the front part of the pocket. I'm going to mark this, and then I'm going to put the magnets in here, somewhere around in here, I guess, and hope for the best. Now that we have marked this off right here, I'm going to go on ahead and put an X right in the center, because the first thing I'm going to need to do is poke a hole. I hope this comes out right, because this is my favorite colorway. I will be so sad if it doesn't, but I think it will. All right, and this is the top. There needs to be some holes right there, and then I can set the magnet bottoms in right there. I've just got to make it make sense. Now, I feel, well, we'll see. I've seen people use interfacing just to secure and give a little more stability when they set their magnets and stuff. So I think I'm going to do the same thing. It's not going to hurt anything, I don't believe. I don't feel like punching a hole and with the hole press. I just want to pop these magnets in really quick. So I'm going to put these here and put the holes there, and then put the bottom. So I like the male to be going into the female part of the magnets. So there's two pieces, right? So there's the part with the little outie, and then there's the innie. And the innie should be going here. I do not want to get this wrong, so I am just poking this hole. There we go. With my awl, because I don't want to get out the punch. Which is why I'm going to get another machine that just can poke holes for me whenever I want. Same steps as before. I'm going to take this pocket, wrong sides together, and just stitch a stay stitch across the top, and then we'll add the zipper. So this is the first zipper. We're making it this red color. We're going to extend it past the edge a little bit. Perfect. So I have sewn the zipper to the front, and then you flip it back like this. I didn't show that part last time. Flip it backward, and then you sew like this. Annie sews like this. And she stitches right on this edge, and it does give you a line of top stitching on the front. Now, whether or not it's beautiful, I don't know about that, but it does happen, and it makes this thing lay super flat. It will make it lay flat. Do how you do. Now let's create some stops. Pull that back and hold it together and sew across a couple times. Sew across a couple times and then cut off the excess and then add the extension. Now it's time for the bees section, as in boy. And I'm grabbing my Bianni Soft and Stable. And I'm placing the other fabric right on top of it. I'm just going to smooth it out and then stitch 1/8 around the whole thing. Just like that. Now that I've done that for both pockets, this one here is for the, this one for the, I don't know. This one's for the little guy. I need to actually pull this apart. Can I? I cannot. Apparently you only need one side of this zipper. So there we go. We'll put the other side to the side with the zipper pull. And we're going to do right sides together. The teeth are down towards my belly button. And I believe I'm just going to sew this straight down, attach it. Now that we've sewn this zipper to the Soft and Stable, we're going to grab our lining piece and align it left and right and put it up here and stitch again. We're going to attach it with a nice generous 1/4 inch seam. You might want to clip it to keep it from shifting. Now that we've stitched that on, we're gonna pull this back and finger press this away from the seam. And if you want, you can do a stitch through the lining and the zipper tape if you want, just to keep it from showing. But I'm not really worried about it. So this is what the bee pocket looks like. This is the back. I've got a line of stitching there. It's the front, top stitching. Now we can move on. This is the bee pocket, and we are going to pull the lining fabric away from that. And we're going to mark a line at the bottom here, all the way down. Now we take this zippered pocket and place it here along this edge. And we're going to sew. I'm probably going to have to pin this a bit. And we're going to sew down a couple of times from here to here. We're going to do it twice to make sure that it's very secure. So we're just going to sew down that way. So I just took the zipper and I pulled it down, and I'm just kind of tugging and fixing on it. It looks pretty good. I pressed a little bit here, but I need to bust out my tiny little iron for over here, I guess. But like I said, it looks pretty good. It'll work. Now for the big one. Pocket B. I'm like, why is it doing this? Pin. And a clip. Okay. Oh, that looks nice. So nice. I'm going to dampen this little area right in here and then just kind of pull on it a bit until it sets. Now we're going to secure this pocket A to pocket B. We're going to go up here and then we're going to come back down. We're going to come all the way around here. Actually, I think, no, better yet, we're going to come down this way, go down this way, come up, come back, come down, and then go back up. You want to sew about 1/4 of an inch away from here. So yeah, come down this way, shoot across the bottom, come up, come back down, and then shoot out and then shoot up. Don't sew through this zipper, and make sure your lining is out of the way. It is pocket C time, and whether or not you're doing the big one or the small one, the markings for this next part are the exact same, and then it gets a little different when we start marking the AB stuff. No worries. Pocket C, find your best side. I don't know that this matters for me. We'll just go with this, and I'm going to do my markings and we'll be back. Okay, this part's a doozy. So we've got the right pocket, the good side facing up. We've got our pocket A. We're going to face this one this way. We're going to turn it over. And with the right sides facing this way, we put a line right here. And so I'm going to put this just on the inside of that line, matching up the bottom. And that looks good. Making sure that's straight. And then I'm going to clip it or pin it in place. Because now we're about to stitch. I'm going to stitch down this line all the way over. Ignore this line. That's a boo-boo. So stitch down this line here, stitch across all the way, then stitch back up, then come back down, go all the way, and then go right back up. It's a little box. We're going to stitch that box, reinforcing it. Stopping right here, coming on through. Cool. Now that we've done that for both sides, I'm going to just roll this in and put some pins in it to keep it out of the way, because apparently we're about to do some things here. So I'm just pinning these out of the way. And I'll do the same on this. Now we are going to flip this over, pull this part down back where it's supposed to be. Oh. And then we're going to fold this over and we're going to align these edges. Oh, mine is way off. So that the zipper tape is even. Oh, folds down there. Be careful if you have pins on the other side. And then I'm going to just cut this so that these are even for sure. Same thing with the little guy. I'm going to explain this to you because every time I try to do it, it doesn't go right on camera. So I have lined these up. I have cut this zipper tape so that it's even. Then I'm going to fold it like this and insert my zipper slide with the rounded point this direction. I'm going to slide it in a little bit, then I'm going to slide in the other side, and then I'm going to pop it, and it's going to click, and then I'm going to zip it up. If I try to do this on camera, it's not going to work, but she has a whole video on how to do it, so on and so forth. This part she shows you really thoroughly on her zippers video. The pocket. So I'm going to I've got this pinned out of the way on both sides. The zipper is installed. It's in there cool. I am going to undo this big zipper about halfway. And then I'm going to turn the bag inside out. Being very careful of those pins. There we go. And we are going to pull up that lining. Great. Zipper is still zippered. Nice. Same for the other guy. Now that we've got this like it is, we are going to line up the edges of this bag, and we're going to pull the zipper teeth apart that extend past the edge so that I can lay this flat. There we go. And I can lay them one on top of the other. Then I'm going to pin it so that it starts and so that it looks good, so that it's all even. There we go. I'm going to grab some pins, these pins here. So that it all matches. I'm going to just pin this side here. Now that I've got everything lined up and pinned up and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to start on this side and I'm going to sew all the way down, and I'm going to do that twice on the same line with a generous 1/4 inch. Now we need to trim this zipper even with the pocket. All right, now we're going to close the bottom. I suggest going down this twice. And you can also close the top, but you need to leave an area for turning. So I'm going to just put a couple of clips here to remind myself to stop. I'm going to leave, you know, like a 3, maybe 4 inch, maybe 4, maybe 5 inch space here for me to turn this pocket. So I'm going to close this up completely and then close this up just a little bit. Same thing with the little guy. Make sure that your pocket C is tucked up in a way. I didn't pin that initially, and it dawned on me that that is supposed to be out of the way. So pin that out of the way, and then going ahead and do like we said, you're going to close up the bottom and then close up the top, but just leave a gap. Now it's time to mark this for being a circle. So I'm going to just move this little guy to where the edges touch the stitching. Just move it back and then go ahead and mark it. Oh, this is not a good pencil for that. There we go. Rounded. I'm going to do the same thing over here for this, but we're going to sew off the edge into no man's land over here. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing for the lining. Now that I've marked this, I'm going to stitch all the way around here, staying on this line. Don't stitch anything past this. You're going to go right off the side there. But I'm just going to stitch down into the ditch and then come up through this stitching and all the way around, and then do the same thing on the back. Now I've got all my sections stitched. I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to trim a scant quarter away from the edge of everything. Then we're going to turn this right side out. Remember, cut with courage, guys. It's all right. I know it feels weird to be doing all this cutting, but it's fine. It's fine. Just give it a little trim. I am a real sewer in the sense that I am not a bag maker. I am a quilter who does buy any bags from time to time. If I can do this, anybody can. You can see it right now. Like, you can see what it looks like. It is not extras clean or anything. It's just a real, this is somebody really making this. If I can do it, anybody can. I am not a professional bag maker, so this gives you an indication if it can be done by somebody who is not Annie or, you know, Okla Roots or Lauren. You know, these are people who do this. Now I'm digging in here, trying to see where the pins are so I don't just mutilate myself on accident. Oh, there they are, right there. That's one. I found them from looking right here. And two. Now I'm going to take my time and turn this right side out. You guys do the same thing. So that was nerve-wracking. Turning it was fine. Not a big deal. Now I'm just going to tuck those edges in, and I'm going to run over to my machine and just stitch this closed really quickly. I'm not paying special attention to anything. I'm just closing this bad boy up right here. So I've got my magnets here and my soft and stable. I'm going to go ahead and mark some lines on this soft and stable really quickly, and then sew the magnets to the soft and stable. The lines have been marked. Now I'm going to put these in with the flat side facing out. Cool. Now I'm going to stitch these down and then put the little covers on them and then stitch the covers to them too. The magnets have been sewn. They are back here. I'm going to take this main fabric and put it on top. They should match up, and I am going to just 1/8 stitch it all the way around. Stay stitch it. Now that all that has been stitched, I've got 3 lines here that I've marked, and I'm going to put this in between that line, or those lines, there we go. And I'm going to clip them on either side. Now I'm going to stitch in the lines I've already stitched before, coming up the marked line, back down, just a little box, staying in the stitching. Oh, these magnets are in here. Don't forget. So I have sewn this, and I've this is it is directional. It says this. I mean, it's not directional fabric, but the way that it's been fussy cut, it appears that it's directional. And I was freaking out when I folded the bag because I was like, it's not even, because I was assuming that this was like a book, but it's not. It sits behind it. So I can relax now. Okay. I'm going to grab my D-rings, my 2 little guys here. Such a beautiful, beautiful set. And I'm going to stick this in here. And I'm going to fold this to the middle. And same with this. And then I'm just going to stitch 1/8 right here. Whoop, and then we've got something beautiful. Then I'll show you guys how I'm going to approach the large bag. I don't know if it's going to work because the instructions do not include instructions for these kind of closures, but I'm going to try it and see what happens. I'm working with this fabric and I want it to be directional because I want this guy right here, Morty, to land that way. He's the front. So I would be working with this as though Morty was the top. And if I had magnets, it would be in this direction. I'm just going to sew this right onto this stabilizer as we see it. There are no magnets. No magnets right now. I'm just going for it. And I have no plan B right now, but if an opportunity presenting suddenly appears, we'll deal with it when we get there. I feel like we're cooking with gas now. So I've got this piece for the big one, this piece for the little guy, and we need to grab the pockets. I think these are pocket E, as in Edward. They are. So we're going to grab pocket E, and we will place this on the back, positioning it right here. Ooh, fits so nicely. I love it. Find your pretty side and then stitch down the right, across the bottom, up the left. Just go on around there. I guess I can pin this or clip it. I'm loving these big clips. So much fun. Same thing with the little guy. Make sure your magnets, and this is your top over there. Be careful. And then we will do this for the little one. Pick your favorite side. It's just about right where the other one is. That's funny. It almost lined up perfectly. I could have fussy cut that to make it. Anyway, so this. We have got all of our lines marked on the right side of the fabric. You probably can't see them. We are going to take our inner strap and stick it here. Stitch 1/8 around everything. Just stitch where you already have stitched. Just follow that line, and then you're going to grab your little pocket and put it in your area here, your pocket area. And you're going to stitch down across the bottom and up. And then that will be your lining. Now we have our lining piece with the pocket sewn. I have it upside down. And then we have this, and we have this upside down too. Our main piece with the magnets closest toward us. And I'm going to clip around this and get ready to sew them together. So I have sewn down here and there, and I've grabbed my little corner rounder and I have rounded that edge there, and I want to give this one a little bit more of a round, let's come up this way a little bit. Looks a little better. Yep. And so I've just rounded these bottom corners, so we're going to stitch along this, and then we're going to break left and then go on and stitch on the curves. So now we've sewn all the way around, perfect. Now let's take some of this bulk off. We've sewn around twice actually. And we're just gonna take some of this excess off of here. I'm just trimming off just because we've got to turn it, and I know it's not gonna this soft and stable. It's tricky. It's a thickums. So I'm just shaving away a little bit of it, cleaning it up somewhat. Now I'm gonna clip. Actually, I'm gonna switch scissors so I have a little more control. These come to a sharp point. They're my Kai scissors. And this horizontal line right here, I'm going to cut to the stitches, not through the stitches, but to the stitches, so that when we turn it, it's got a little room to breathe right here. I'm just in the seam allowance, and I just gave it a little snippy snip. All right, now on to the other bag. I'm going to show you what I have done, because it's probably not going to make sense to you guys, but so my magnets, I don't know why, because they're shown, you can see that this one is over a little bit more, and I don't know if that's because this is supposed to turn under more. I don't know. Again, I am not a super precise sewist. I'm just like you guys, just trying to get it done, having a little fun. So it's a little off. So I don't know that my measurements are going to be perfect. So I just put the lining in there, and I'm assuming that the lining is going to meet right here. And you know, you always have a little play. This is fabric, right? So I placed the fabric like this. I folded it over, how it will probably be when it's closed. And I just marked these. Now I am going to run a line to make sure that they're kind of, that it's even. I don't want it to be looking crazy when this is open. I don't want you to see one up here and one down there. But it looks pretty even. I just kind of marked where they will fall. And again, you have a little play when you have those magnets, you know that. But I think they actually sit pretty good. So we shall see. I'm going to install those right now. I've poked my holes, and now I'm just sticking these posts through those holes. And I have the right dye in there. Yep. So I'm just going to stick this in here. And then put the little cap on there. I heard it click on there. And now it is on there. And now they have been installed. And in a perfect world, they will go like this. And then this will go like this. And this will go like this. And it will close. We shall see. Now it is time to turn these bags right side out. They're turned. And give them a good press. So this is where we are now. It's gotten a little press, not a super hard press, but a press. And so it looks like from the back. Got tons of threads to trim, but we'll get there. Let's keep going. Now that we've got our little things clipped here, let's connect the back, all these layers together, just by stitching an 1/8 down here and up. Just stitch an 1/8. Let's just get them all together so they're not shifting around. We are on that home stretch. I am going to flip this over. Perfect. Push these in here. I'm going to move these zippers into the inside just to keep them safe. Flip this over and pin, making sure that these are lined up here. Make sure that's lined up there, and just pin all the way around, making sure I'm not getting any of this bulk in there, making sure that everything is tucked away. And you're going to sew just like we've done over and over again. Down, this way, round the corners, cut away, and then flip. I'll be back when it's time to flip. So now we have sewn around it. We've rounded the edges. We've clipped away the excess. And now it's time to turn it right side out and hope for the best. Make sure you backstitch quite a bit here because there's going to be a lot of tension in those areas. And now we're just going to turn it out. Well, the next step would be to top stitch from here all the way around and stopping here. So you stop there, and to top stitch here and come around. But I don't want to. I don't want to do it, so I'm not. I like it better without the top stitching. So unless I wash this, I think it'll be fine. I think it will be okay. I guess it would enclose the edges. If I have any issues, I can always top stitch it later. And we can add, oh, these magnets, it works. You put them on here and you just give them a little wiggle and they will snap right into place. And I like it. It was a good move. A good move. You've got your back pocket, your slip pocket right here, your 2 zipper pockets. This can go around your waist. You can carry it as a clutch. You just hook your straps here, and that's it. That's the whole bag. And I really like this bag a lot. I like the fabrics. I think they came out pretty cool. Let me know what you think.